This is going to be a short summary about probate at death. And what we mean is probate at death is that you have passed away and you either died intestate with no documents whatsoever, or you have a will and we have assets that are going to go through that will. They're going to be required to go through this court probate process. So probate is a court-supervised process which is designed to transfer assets from the deceased to the living and also to pay all the creditors and debts, so that what comes out of a probate at the end to the beneficiaries are good, clean assets. Probate is public, meaning that there has to be a petition filed in a court to commence a court probate proceeding. In that proceeding, there's going to be an inventory of all the assets that you own, and also an indication of the debts that you owe, and will name the beneficiaries of your will and also the heirs of your estate. And all of this is in the court records and the court file that can be obtained by anybody in the general public. That's why, for instance, when Whitney Houston passed away, she died with a will that the public was informed by the media of everything going on in her estate, the assets, the debts, and who was going to receive it, because it was all public record right before them. Probate does cost money, and the fees that are calculated to be paid to the law firm and the personal representative are all based on the size of the estate. And it's based not on the net value of the estate, but rather on the gross value of the estate. And that's why sometimes people will say, well, this is just gross fees because it's on the gross estate. So you could have $1 million house with a $900,000 mortgage, and the fees are based on the $1 million of value. So here we have a quick example of that $1 million house, even though it might have $900,000 of debt. There's going to be filing fees with the court. These are the legal fees for the attorney and also for the personal representative who handles the estate. This is what's based on law, and it's calculated out as $23,000 each. And when we look at the other fees and expenses, this estate might have $48,000 of expenses on a $1 million estate. The larger the estate, the larger the fee. It's just simple math calculated by the probate court. Probate does take time. By the time that we gather the facts, that's going to generally take a month or two. Then you're going to petition the court to have the executor or administrator appointed. That's generally a month and a half to 2 months just to get into court. Once the person is appointed, there's a 4-month creditor claim that we have to go through. And it's going to take a couple more months to at least get the petition for the distribution ordered by the court. So a very fast probate would take 9 months. Very common to take a year and a half to go through a probate process. And guess what? If you happen to own real property in another state, let's say you have property in Texas, there might also be a probate proceeding in Texas because the property that you own in Texas doesn't move. Texas has jurisdiction over that particular property, and there might be a probate in Texas as well as California. So if all this court involvement is not to your liking, then you could try to avoid it so that you have no court, no publicity, less time delay, and less expense. And if that's your thinking, then we would suggest that you consider a revocable trust, and you can view a trust video on our website.